What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Vault Goblin, and today I am coming in with a 182 kill PENTA MOAB. He dies just 3 off the HEXA, brought to you guys by Vault Juicy. Check him out in the description below, along with myself, if you enjoy this at the end of the video. And today I'm coming in with a pretty long story for you guys, so before I dive into the story, I just kind of wanted to talk about the gameplay for a little bit. You know, like I said, it's a PENTA MOAB. He's running around with the ACR, which, you know, I know there's a lot of ACR, but at the same time, you know, the amount of kills kind of makes up for that. You know, on terminal, just smacking them up. His strategy with this one was just, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and rape them all. So he fisted them. He fisted the entire enemy team. So props to him. Let's give him a hand. Let's give him a hand, everyone. Nice job, Juicy. Great job. You did good out there. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. Definitely a very fun one to watch. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and dive into the story. So, the story I'm going to be telling you guys today is the first time I ever went to the office. And this happened to me in 4th grade. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it happened that late into my elementary school life. Because, you know, I wasn't necessarily like the best kid all throughout elementary school. It's just that I would never really get caught doing anything. So, I'd never end up going to the office. And to teachers, I appear to be a great kid, you know? But the first time I got sent to the office, I was actually really terrified. I didn't know what the hell was going to happen. I was scared as hell, dude. Like, you know, if you guys ever remember, everyone's been to the office, you know? Everyone's been through that, and the first time's always terrifying as fuck, you know? I genuinely thought my mom wasn't going to feed me, and she was just going to kind of like throw me out on the street and, you know, make me live the homeless life, and I was going to have to come up in a gang and sell drugs and rap and drop with some mixtapes and sell them to my classmates in order to get by. But, you know, that didn't happen. It actually went a lot better than expected. But yeah, so basically how this happened was we had a field trip this day, and we were going to it was some like Civil War kind of themed like reenactment, like role play kind of thing, where like they had this open little town area and you would walk around and just kind of go to different exhibits. And since in social studies we were studying the Civil War, our teachers planned us a little kind of Civil War themed field trip. So, you know, naturally it was a field trip. We're all hyped up and excited. And, you know, I was one of the goons who would sit in the back of the bus with my little goon squad back there. We had our bad bitches back in 4th grade sitting back there with us. And it was a fun trip. And, you know, it started out nicely. The bus ride there wasn't really anything special. And this was going to be a long trip. Like, this took up the whole day, just sitting here at this stupid Civil War place, you know, learning about, like, how to do the hokey pokey and how to finger a bitch in the 1800s and shit like that. So, bus ride there wasn't really anything special. We had our typical, like, yo mama joke diss off and shit like that, which back in the elementary school days, you know, I assume we all kind of have these memories, these feels of, you know, standing on the playground or sitting in the back of the bus or anything like that, doing yo mama diss offs like, yo mama so fat she broke the scale, and everyone was like, oh my god, fucking roasted, you know, like that was golden back in the day. And I was kind of known as like the king of that. I was like the top yo mama disser, because, you know, I would go and I would do diss offs with people in the back of the bus, and, you know, typically I'd come out with the W. I think there was only one that I lost, and that was to my best friend, so it didn't really matter. But basically, the bus ride there, we were doing it, and I thought it went well, you know, nothing really happened, and it turned out that the beginning of the bus ride is kind of what got me fucked over and in trouble, and everything went smoothly up to that point. We got off the bus once we got there. It was like an hour bus ride, because this place is really far away. I don't know why they would plan something for a place that is so far away, but, you know, it's fucking elementary school. Our teachers were stupid, and they did. So, we got off the bus, and we were walking around. Everything was going well. I was walking around with a group of my little friends, my goon squad, you know, squad the fuck up. We were throwing up gang signs, you know, shooting motherfuckers, mugging kids behind exhibits, you know, taking their lunch money, you know, just the usual, the typical. But, you know, we were walking around with the class, all was going well, we were staying with it, doing all these little stupid activities and stuff. I remember they had one activity where they made us do laundry like they did in the 1800s. I don't know why they thought that would at all interest a group of 4th graders, but apparently they just thought doing laundry was just the most innovative, entertaining thing they could, you know, possibly do. You know, they were just like, yeah, you know, let's make some 4th graders do laundry. That's awesome. They're going to love this, you know. So we did that, and that's kind of when I got a little bored, I guess you could say, and I wanted to go off on my own. So me and a couple friends, we kind of strayed off a little bit from the group, and that's the first thing that got us in trouble. And it was kind of a collection of things that got me sent to the office. But first we strayed off, and we were kind of looking around at different exhibits. We found a whole different school that was there, and we kind of followed them around for a little bit. That was fun. It took us a couple minutes. It didn't take us too long to, you know, kind of get spotted out, and, you know, they realized we're not a part of that school. So, you know, we ran away from that pretty quickly. But finally, we were walking around, and our teacher rounds the corner with our class, and she caught us, and she made us walk right up by her. She gave us like a little lecture, and she kind of pulled us aside and was like, you can't do that, fuck you. You can't do that, Nick. You piece of shit. And I was like, all right, we were bored, but I mean, I guess, we had to stick with the class. So we did. We stuck with the class. We went through the entirety of the field trip, and, all was well. We finished up the field trip. We were getting back on the bus, and the bus ride home is when things, really kind of got, downhill, I guess you could say. So, of course, the tradition, I was sitting in the back of the bus with my goon squad, and we were doing another Yo Mama diss off. And, anyone could play, or anyone, not play, anyone could partake, I guess. There was no rules or there's no sign up sheet. You could literally just call someone's mom fat and you're in, boy. Okay, welcome to the squad, So I was doing it with this girl. I think her name was Jade, I believe. And we were having a little diss off and back. And I made some gay joke. I don't remember exactly what it was. I was like, yo, mama's so gay, she's gay or something like that. And everyone was like, holy shit, because I was just priceless back then. But apparently, one of the chaperones, someone's mom, I believe it was this kid named TJ's mom, she overheard it, and she didn't say anything. She didn't ask us to stop. She decided to just pull the most asshole move possible and tell the teacher. But we didn't realize it until we got off the bus. I actually got sent to the office with a couple of friends of mine. So we were just going about our Yo Mama diss off, not thinking anything was going to go wrong. And then we finally got back to school, and that's when we kind of wrapped it up, and we were like, all right, we just had an hour long back and forth diss off. That was good, let's fist bump and then go home and eat our goldfish, and do fourth grade things like color in our coloring books and masturbate furiously, So we got off the bus, and our teacher pulled us aside. It was me and a couple friends. It was me and my friend Nick, this kid named Isaiah, and this other girl named Addie. The girl who the girl who I was doing the Yo Mama diss off with, the girl named Jade, she actually didn't get in trouble. I don't really know how, but apparently she got away with whatever she did, that fucking bitch, thought, slut, cunt, whore. But anyways, so our teacher pulled us to the side in the hallway as everyone else is going back to our classroom, and she told us, one of the chaperones told me that you guys are saying some bad words, so I'm gonna have to send you guys to the office. And saying that you're gonna, having a teacher tell you that you're gonna be sent to the office is kind of like the equivalent of saying the N-word in the south side of Chicago. It's bad, it is terrible, and it will cause, an explosion. So, we were all, shaken. We were like, holy fuck. I don't think any of us at that point had been to the office for anything bad ever. I think the only time I'd even been to the office before this was one time I got stung by a bee and I was crying and they sent me home when I was in kindergarten. But anyways, so we were terrified. We were like, holy shit, but we kind of kept it together until our teacher went away. She basically just walked us down the hall to the office and then sat us outside of the office because the vice principal who gave out all the punishments and stuff, the main principal didn't really do much with disciplinary stuff or anything like that. She was more of just administration and running the school, but the vice principal is the one who would give out all the punishments and deal with little shits like us. So we were sitting outside the vice principal's office in the hall, and we were terrified. I remember I was feeling terrible. My legs were like jello. I was just like, holy fuck, I'm done. I'm fucked. I thought this was the end for me. And my friend Nick, he was crying. He was straight up he was like, my parents are going to ground me for the whole summer and shit like that. And then my friend Isaiah was just kind of sitting there like, fuck this. The girl we were with named Addie, she was just kind of standing there. She was complaining about how her parents were going to beat the shit out of her with a belt too. And I was just kind of thinking man, I'm not going to be playing my video games tonight, because back in 4th grade, that's when I first got my Xbox. So, I was really into that, and I was terrified they were going to take that from me. And I was like, no, fuck no, I'll die for this Xbox, So we sat out there for what seemed like ages. It was probably maybe 10, 15 minutes tops. And then the principal called us all in at the same time and sent us back out and called us in one by one. And it was terrifying. I was the last one to go in. So all my friends went into the office and then came out and walked right back to class. They weren't allowed to talk to me. So I asked them well, what's going on? And they couldn't tell me anything. And finally I got called in last, and I was like, oh shit, because originally they called all 4 of us in at once to kind of tell us all right, I'm going to call you guys in one at a time instead of just doing it. I don't know why she had to debrief us on that. It's some sort of fucking mission, but she calls me in last, and I'm like, oh shit, because at this point I believe school was a couple minutes away from ending. So I was hoping maybe she'd just make it quick and just straight up send me home, just be like, all right, don't use that word again, you little piece of shit, and go home, but that's not really how it played out. I think I ended up saying 10 minutes late after school. So she called me in, and she sat me down, and I was, of course, the main antagonist in this situation. I was the one who kind of caused this whole thing. So she had some choice words for me. So she sits me down, she starts asking me some questions, and I'm at this point, I'm on the verge of tears. I am fucking terrified. And, let me remind you guys, I was 8 when this happened. I was a little kid. I was fucking 8. So the thought of going to the office and being punished was to the tear inducing to that point, pretty much, So I'm sitting there, and she's asking me all these questions, and I don't know why she said this. I don't know why you would like threaten this to a little kid, but she was like, oh, well, did you know that some of the remarks you made, or at least I was told that you made, were like forms of harassment, and you could, like, someone could call the police on you for that. And I thought she was like saying that she was gonna like get me arrested for this. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was terrified. I started crying after that because, you know, I was just told that I was gonna potentially be fucking arrested for making a yo mama joke and calling someone's mom gay. And she never actually did that, but I guess she was just kind of trying to scare me straight, I guess. I don't know what the fucking strategy was behind that, but, you know, she said that. I don't know why. It was kind of a bitch move. Fuck you, Miss Vice Principal, whoever you are. I don't even remember her name anymore. But I was sitting there, and she made me call my mom and apologize to her at work. So I remember calling my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm in the office, and she's raping me. She's touching my private parts. No, but, you know, I called her, and I had to apologize, and I was, like, sniffling and stuff. I wasn't crying at this point. I only, like, shed a couple of tears because I was nervous, and I thought I was gonna, like, go to jail, and I thought she was, like, seriously going to call the police and be like, yeah, this kid made a yo mama joke. Lock him the fuck up. Piece of shit, you know? So I called my mom, and I remember telling her, and she was like, oh, well, you know, you shouldn't have done that, and, you know, we have to talk about this tonight. And I was like, oh, fuck, you know? Because whenever your mom says that you have to talk, you know you're fucked. You know you're done. You're absolutely done. So, you know, I was terrified, and she let me out of the office. It was like 10 minutes after school, so I went and I walked home. I got home, waited for my mom to get home from work, which was only like maybe 45 minutes to an hour after I got home. I was just sitting there on the couch, like, terrified. She got home, and, you know, it turned out I actually didn't get in too much trouble for it. I don't even think I got grounded. If I was grounded, I was grounded for like a day, because that was the first time I'd ever been to the office, but it was terrifying, you know? It was absolutely, like, the worst experience ever. I mean, my principal was fucking awful. I hated her so much, but, you know, it was not a fun experience. And then 4th grade, I got sent to the office like 4 more times because they were onto my shit. Now they were onto me. They were watching my ass hardcore. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go for 150 likes on this video. Check out myself and Juicy in the description below, and I will see you guys next time. Peace. Oh, and also before I go, one more thing. I felt like adding this on at the end since I have a little bit of time left. I actually made a PC channel where I'm going to be uploading a lot of PC gameplays, Gary's mods, stuff like that, and I'm close to 100 subs on it. My first video isn't out yet, but if you guys could check that out in my sub box, it's on the top, and you guys can just, you know, click the little picture of it and go sub to it. That'd be cool. So yeah, check that out. Hope you guys enjoy. Once again, check out myself and Juicy, and let's go for 150 likes on this video, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Securing Charlie. Friendly MOAB incoming. UAV online.